Hello, listeners, fuckers, dudes, and dudettes. Welcome to episode 7 of Grumpy X Sunshine. That's not 3 X's, but we do come with a parental advisory. I'm Storm, aka Grumpy, if you couldn't fucking tell.
And I'm Lady, aka the Sunshine. Hello.
So today we have a few stories picked out from the subreddit r/paranormalencounters. A lot of these, the users need some advice on some things paranormal, and then there are a few that are just like personal stories thrown in.
Dope. Storm picked all the stories out because I was studying for finals.
And dude, they are crazy.
I'm genuinely excited.
You should be.
Okay. Oh, also, this is a little special episode. We're recording at Storm's favorite spot.
Up at Geneva.
We got some nice photos today. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Just gotta figure out how to fucking edit them, but okay.
Yeah, we'll be fine. It's okay. We're fine. It's fine. We're all fine. Hopefully. Okay, so this one's titled, I Need Some Advice for the Thing That's Been Following Me for Over a Decade.
Jesus Christ.
r/paranormal encounters. User is Kitchen Muffin 1695.
Okay.
I need some advice for the thing that's been following me for a decade plus. And please bear with me since I'm a little bit drunk to even write this down. She's like, poor guy. Or girl. Poor person.
Poor person.
They have to be drunk to write this. It all started at my mom's house in the early teens when I started feeling watched going to the bathroom during midnight and early morning hours.
Ew.
This came to a head when I was finished with my morning showers and got the extreme feeling of being watched. So I turned around and saw a head. White face, no distinguished features, with a top hat around 7 to 8 foot tall. What?
Ew, that's so fucking nasty.
Yeah. Poke around the doorway, looking at me.
I'd be screaming at it. I'm fucking naked. That's nasty. What a creep.
Since I've noticed the floorboards in the front of the room have liked to creak every night around 3 a.m., I was stupid enough to answer a knock in the middle of the night one day and open the door. Since then, I felt watched inside my room, as well as having the floorboards creak every night. One day, when my mom and my stepdad went out for drinks, I stayed home to play some video games, when I heard someone come up the stairs with bottles and walk downstairs again with the bottles, which was a daily routine for my mom and stepdad. Soon after, the Wi-Fi went out, which I thought they just turned it off and went to watch some TV instead. A couple hours later, they came home, opened the door to tell me they were home. After this, everything went back to the old stuff of floorboards creaking and feeling of being watched. A couple years later, I moved to my dad's farm due to circumstances I don't want to explain and noticed that everything went quiet for a month before the front door started only being locked for me multiple times. As well as having my stepmom, says she sees ghosts, having to do a cleansing of the house. I later found out that she's seen a man with a top hat and a coat around 7 to 8 foot tall standing in the hallway. As well as that, the room I was sleeping in was blessed and sealed off against spirits.
Oh, as well as the house being cleansed, his room got blessed.
Yeah. Soon after, I heard the fire safety door. Those are locked from the inside after 9 p.m. At 2 to 3 a.m., that's connected to the barn right beside my room, open and close in rapid successions over an hour. For over an hour, with the dogs barking their souls out. Later on, when I was home alone and had to do an evening around myself, with locking everything, I felt like I was being watched from the hay attic in the barn.
Hold on, wait. Did you just copy and paste this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible grammar.
To be fair, they're very drunk.
Yeah, I can tell.
There's also a link to the original post.
Okay. I can definitely tell. It's a little chaotic to me.
He's a little drunk. So he felt like he was being watched from the barn attic. Okay. Soon after, saw something disappear behind the round bales that were positioned right in front of the fire safety door, which leads to the house. It got quiet after this until I moved out to my first apartment, which was on the first floor. I got the feeling as if I was being watched from outside the window, like something was peeking inside from the side. Then it stopped. After this, things got a little weirder. Since I've started having sleep paralysis for a couple months, where I would see a person unidentifiable standing in the corner of the bedroom. Before it would jump on the bed, I would wake up and would see that somewhere.
I would see
it
that
was
it was
somewhere in between 2 and 3 a.m. Okay, so
he would wake up, look at the clock, see it was between 2 and 3 a.m.
yeah. Soon after, I started seeing different people, which I knew. Soon after, I started seeing different people, which I knew standing there. Slowly but surely, I got myself to try to scream in those dreams, to push myself out of bed and crawl towards it till it vanished. It all stopped, at least for a while, when I was able to grab its ankle.
Ew.
So he was the ankle biter. Half a year after that, I went abroad to do some work and travel where I didn't notice anything peculiar except for a short time where I felt like I was being watched on a field when it started working at 3 a.m. And now for the absolute reason why I'm asking for help is that I just had a sleep paralysis again a week ago, where I was sleeping on a friend's couch, saw someone standing in the doorway again, where I pushed myself off the couch to somehow get to the person, only to awake back on the couch, to see a friend of mine standing there. This repeated multiple times until I got a hold of him again. I woke up at 12 a.m. The next morning I asked my friend if they heard or did anything. He just told me that he heard loud mumbling from the room I was sleeping in, and didn't see anything else. I hope you guys have anything for me, since I'm sick of this shit. Thanks for reading, though.
Sounds like he has, like, an attachment.
A mild attachment that follows them, and possibly, just some really whack dreams. You know,
I wouldn't know how to help with that.
I don't know how to help with the dreams, other than trying to think of bunnies all day. There's this little old. So if you ever watch The Good Witch, I think that's what it's called. It's
Okay.
A Good Witch. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Netflix or whatever. But she has this moment with this little girl who's like, I'm having nightmares, like, help me. Like, you're a witch, you know how to help people, help me. And the Good Witch goes, okay, but I need you to do something. Whatever you do, you cannot dream of bunnies. Big, fluffy bunnies. I need you to repeat that to me all day. I will not dream of bunnies. I will not dream of bunnies. I will not dream of bunnies. All day. Do you understand me? She goes, yes. And she starts doing it. I will not dream of bunnies. I will not dream of bunnies. Big, fluffy bunnies. And she has to have a picture in her mind. She cannot dream of bunnies. And she came in the next day to the shop, and she goes, I did something bad. I dreamed of bunnies. And she goes, but you didn't have nightmares, right? And the Good Witch smiles at her. And it really does work. Like, if you want to dream of something.
I mean, I agree, but this is
an adult. It's a little different.
This is also, like, paranormal. It's not just...
Yeah.
I mean, he was seeing this thing in broad daylight before he had his sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
I'm still upset that the thing was watching him fucking shower.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I say stand your ground, tell the thing to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Depending on what religion they follow, maybe go get blessed by a church, whatever church you belong to. Or if your parents belong to a church, or see if your stepmom can bless you.
Alright, this next one.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a skeptic, but now I'm not so sure. r/paranormal encounters, user gloomyweather9449. So sorry for the long post. There have been a few strange happenings in my life in the last 24 hours, and I feel like there's a lot of background info needed for it to make sense. To begin, both of my parents are dead. Oof.
That's a rough start. That is a rough start.
I'm 24 female now, but my mom passed when I was 15, and my dad just 9 months later when I was 16. Mom passed in a car accident and dad committed suicide. My dad was a firefighter for most of his life, and both parents struggled with addiction. I'm not sure how relevant that is, but just so you have all the info. So here's where it really starts. I was standing in the corner of my kitchen this morning, huge open floor plan, so my back was to the rest of the apartment. I was making myself some breakfast when I hear what is distinctly a man taking a deep breath and sigh. It sounded like it was right behind me, and I spun around. Actually, nothing is there. It's early morning. My cats were sleeping upstairs, and they wouldn't be able to make that noise regardless. No electronics were on at all because my roommate and I unplugged them last night due to a lot of thunderstorms in our city. My roommate was asleep, and he sleeps with tape over his mouth. Don't ask, he's a mouth breather.
That
So he couldn't
I'm
have
sorry,
made
but
that noise.
that got me. That got me when I looked for these stories, and it gets me now too.
Don't ask, he's a mouth breather. Anyways, so he couldn't have made that noise. Not to mention that his room is on the other side of the kitchen, not right behind me. I genuinely have no idea what could have made that noise other than some kind of entity. After that, I finish getting ready and go to work.
Real quick. Okay, so sometimes, I don't know how long they've lived in their apartment, but sometimes your air conditioning unit or like heating unit, whatever you have, can make a sigh-like noise when it needs to either defrost or do whatever it needs to do.
Like a man taking in a breath?
Yeah, it literally, like,
ew.
Like, it is a rush of air, and it's very loud. But it's also, like, it's a muffled loud, too. It's a very weird noise. You'd have to look it up or know when it's about to happen. But if you're in the dead quiet and that happens, it scares the fuck out of me every time.
Ew.
Yeah. So maybe that's a possible conclusion to that specific thing. Don't know.
Sometimes I think I hear people breathing around me.
Oh, I know if I hear people breathing around me. Storm has mesophobia.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I know if somebody's breathing around me.
I just feel like it usually only happens after work. And at work, I'm, like, so on guard.
Mm-hmm.
On, like, where people are and what they're doing and what my patients are doing and stuff. That I feel like when I get home, I'm still so on guard that I, like, kind of trick myself into hearing things.
Okay.
But I doubt, it's the same thing for her. But I know I've basically imagined some things like that before, but
you also
not saying she's imagining it. But.
Yeah, you also work 12-hour shifts, so
after that, I finished getting ready to go to work. I tell my coworkers what happened, and I started to kind of piece together some things that have been going on lately and connect them. For example, last night at work, I got 2 phone calls within 5 minutes of each other. Both of them just said goodbye in a man's voice and hung up. My roommate also left a candle burning in our shared bathroom overnight, and my dad, the firefighter, spent my whole life drilling fire safety into my head. LOL. Yeah, 2 phone calls back to back saying goodbye and hanging up. That is weird.
Disgusting.
Yesterday, I was going through a bunch of my things and spring cleaning, essentially, and ended up finding a few of my dad's things, and that I've never seen before. See, I can't read slow. I fuck up things. Even though I've gone through his things a dozen times in the last 8 years he's been gone, I found a very cryptic note with things written on it like despair, pain, loneliness, darkness, etc. And at the bottom, my name was written and circled. I also found a cassette recorder with my dad's voice on it.
That means that she's like the only thing that was worth.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
That is really depressing.
Because it's one of the tactics people do, that you write out things of your life. Everything that you can think about of your life. Like, that's all his life was right then, is because, like, he just lost his wife, he just lost his soulmate. Like, what good does he have in his life? Her.
No. I've been getting splitting headaches for the last 2 days, and I normally don't get them at all. The noise itself sounded like it came from the corner directly behind me.
What noise?
The sigh, I'm assuming. I think she went back.
Okay.
Said yesterday she was going through a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Found the note. I've been getting splitting headaches for the last 2 days, and normally I don't get them at all. The noise itself sounded like it came from the corner directly behind me, and the only thing that's there are a wax warmer and one of my dad's old bottles from his house, which has its own very creepy backstory.
I want to know the backstory.
We'll read these comments after.
Okay. These were posted very recently.
Gotcha. Lastly, to get to my apartment, you have to walk up a stairwell that has motion sensor lights. For the past couple of days, the lights have been flickering nonstop. So all of that by itself, while still very alarming, could be kind of ignored. But then I get home from work today, open the door to the stairwell, and the light is still flickering until I'm standing directly below it. And as soon as I get underneath it, it stops flickering and it's working normally. I stood there for almost a full minute and took a video of it to show my roommate. The second I turned around to keep going up the stairs, it started to flicker again.
What the fuck?
I know.
What the fuck?
I
My brain's trying to comprehend at the speed that you're reading. Because I'm trying to actively listen to you instead of just like.
think I am. I think I'm reading at a nice speed.
You're reading very fast. For my brain right now.
Gotcha.
Because, like, oh my god, my brain's having a hard time right this minute. But, like, okay, so wait. She walks up the stairs, the light's flickering.
Mm-hmm.
It stops when she gets under it.
Mm-hmm. It stops flickering and it's, like, completely working fine.
But then she goes to walk away and it's flickering again.
Yeah. The moment she turns around to walk away.
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
She ends it with saying, I really don't know what to make of all of this or where to go from here, so any thoughts or advice at all would be greatly appreciated. And then I'm looking through her comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she only has 2 comments. The first one, someone had asked, what was your relationship with your father and how did you feel about him? She said, I didn't see him in person very often. He was kind of a recluse in the time that I knew him, but apparently he was the life of the party before I was born, before he got into a car wreck and became addicted to pain pills. He was always very worried that he wasn't a good enough dad and that I deserved better from him, but I never thought that.
I also struggled with a dad with addiction growing up, and it really is a hard thing. Me and this OP are the same age, so I can really, really relate to what they're saying.
He was a lot older than most of my friends' parents, and he had me when he was 44 years old. So sometimes I would be embarrassed to have him come to school events, etc., which was stupid looking back. Eventually, he stopped coming because he thought I was ashamed of him. My freshman year of high school, he showed up to the opening night of my play and left flowers for me, but never stopped to talk to me. Well, now that he's been gone for almost 8 years, I just miss him. I have so many questions about why he left and I couldn't have stopped it. And why I couldn't have stopped it. Why he didn't ask me for help. But he's genuinely one of the best people that I know. He was intelligent and funny and kind. He knew so much about so many things. And I never saw him get a Jeopardy question wrong. He loved people so deeply and couldn't afford that same love to himself. I was angry for a long time after he passed because I couldn't understand why he would do that to me while I was still grieving my mother. I still am sometimes, but for the most part, I have forgiven him. I think somehow in his mind, he was such a disappointment to me and that I would be better off. Completely untrue, and I wish I could have told him that. He gave me a copy of one of his favorite books before he passed, To Kill a Mockingbird. On the cover, he wrote, I wish I could have been your Atticus.
That gave me chills.
I'm about to fucking cry, bro. Oh my god.
My father was a lot older when my parents had me. My parents were both very old when they had me. My mom was 34. My dad was 7 years older than my mom. So, like, I'm right there with OP. Although, the kids in my class used to call him Santa Claus. So, like in kindergarten and stuff. And I tease him unmercifully about I literally just called him Santa Claus the other day. So.
The only other comment is, someone said, hire a ghost breaker who will intercede on your behalf. Failing that, tell the spirit to move along and leave. I don't understand that. They responded, I'm mostly curious about it, not necessarily afraid. Although these instances were a little unsettling, lol, I just wanted to know what I'm dealing with.
Okay. I would say probably go to a psychic.
I think it's just her dad watching out for her.
Not necessarily. Maybe here or there. Um, not a whole lot of instances. Here's the thing. If that flickering light scared her, no.
She says that she's not very, it's unsettling, but it's not, she's not afraid.
Nope. If that flickering light scared her, it wouldn't be your dad.
I don't know. For me, it's all manly. It's all masculine things. I heard distinctly a man taking a deep breath and sigh. She got 2 phone calls back to back with a man's voice saying goodbye.
Yes, the flickering light. Here's the thing. Our loved ones, well, she did say her dad was a little bit odd, so it might come across like that. But our loved ones don't go out to scare us.
The sigh came from next to where her dad's old bottles are. And, like, you can be unsettled and not scared.
That's what I mean.
Like, I'm
If she's
unsettled right
scared,
now.
Like, if she's scared, probably not her dad.
Yeah.
But, like,
I get unsettled.
if she's a little confused, that'd be okay. That could probably be your dad.
I feel like unsettled can go either way, but, like, in this situation right now, right, we're sitting in a dark car right next to a dark lake.
We are sitting in a parking lot.
In a dark parking lot. It's very dark outside, and
No
is it
lights.
a little unsettling? Yeah, but I still feel calm. I'm not afraid right now. I'm not I'm unsettled, absolutely, because I don't know what's going on.
Because we can't
Not
see.
because I'm scared.
Because we have our phones up and are on our phones reading these stories and recording.
In my opinion, I get the vibe that it's your dad. And if you and your dad didn't really have a relationship to begin with, he's not going to know where to leave off from either.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to know what to do for you to hear him.
Yeah.
Or get to you. He's just going to start doing things to get your attention.
I'd say go talk to a psychic.
Absolutely, yeah. Go talk, yeah.
Psychic or a card reader or something like that.
Yeah. Go get your palm. No. Go get your tarot. Go draw some tarot. I almost said go get your palm read, like they can tell you anything.
Well, you could tell a lot about a palm reading, but you can't really tell what ghost is connected to you.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not the thing.
Okay, so next story is The Voodoo Lady Got Me. It's from r/paranormal encounters, user late-chip-5890. I was taking a class on the art of voodoo. I did not believe in it, but as I was in seminary and had studied many other religions, I felt I needed to understand voodoo.
Understandable.
Okay, cool. I happened to have a friend who believed in it, and she said to come with her to this week-long immersive class at this woman's house. So I'd gone in several times, met many wonderful women. We cooked, danced, communed all week. Then came the night of the ceremony. We were supposed to wear all white, and I did, not to offend anyone. This woman had moved her altar to our large room and circled the chairs that we were sitting in. The ceremony began, and I was very interested in what was entailed in this. I sat next to a friend. Well, the woman called on a certain spirit or spirits, and people sat in silence in the candlelight. I started to feel slightly dizzy, and immediately I knew that it was the spirits affecting me. I had learned that I'm very sensitive to these things over time, but I was perplexed because I did not believe in what she was doing, really. I started to lean forward, my stomach felt tied in knots. I was being possessed. Everyone saw my expression change, and my posture. The lady who had called this spirit did nothing to aid me, to the point that my friend jumped up and angrily called to her to do something. She did not move. Apparently, she wanted one of us to be possessed and was willing to allow me to have this experience. Soon it passed, as I worked hard to reject it.
What the fuck? Is that all we get?
That's all. That is it. Let me open the... Somebody said, hey, maybe look at this as a fruitful one because no damage was done, and OP said that they agree it's a fruitful experience. Somebody else asked why they went at all, but they were in school. They wanted an immersive experience to learn something. Okay, and then he later goes on. OP says, graduate school is a time to research, paper writing, teaching others. Many places to learn firsthand about religions. Greek Orthodox, don't know how to pronounce that one, Jewish, you name it, I went to learn. Grad school students are researchers, and that's what I was doing. Yes, you can run into danger, but that's a chance you take as a researcher.
Could you imagine, just imagine for a second.
Yeah.
This woman has this week-long immersive experience where you get to experience my culture, the way I...
And at the end of the week, we're gonna get possessed. I don't think they were willing to get possessed, but I think they were willing to be in the
She was willing to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if this,
if somebody walked up to her on the street, be like, hey, do you want possessed? They'd probably say no.
In my opinion, if you're doing some fucked up shit like this, informed consent is important. Yeah. There are people willing to experience that feeling.
Yeah.
You can easily find someone to do it. You don't just pull a group of people around and say, I'm going to call upon these spirits and let's see who gets possessed.
Let you calm down from that one.
Possible mimic or something else. r/paranormal encounters user prior_perception_166. Hey everyone, new to this group. I've dealt with the paranormal my whole life, and seeing, hearing, and feeling things around me is nothing new. The house I currently live in, I've lived in for 6 years, and I have seen, felt, and heard things in this house. About 5 years ago, my now ex-husband, we'll call him Joe, was leaving for work early one morning, and after he shut the door, I heard his name being called in the laundry room, which was where he went out, and also right beside the master bedroom. The creepy part about this is, it was my voice, and I immediately got the chills. After that...
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah. Could you imagine hearing your own fucking voice?
I hear it when we listen back to the podcast every time.
Shut the fuck up. That one TikToker that I was telling you about, she literally recorded her own body. She had her husband. Her husband was walking up the stairs, saw her standing in the living room window, looking out the window.
I saw that on Louie Bug's post. Oh my god. I think I sent that to you in blue.
After that, our oldest son, who was just crawling at the time, had his VTech phone, which he would play with. It ended up in the corner of our living room, and we had a recliner that sat in front of the chair. I didn't know the phone was back there until it started going 666. Keep in mind that this toy was off.
I got chills.
So I picked it up and threw it outside into the trash. Later, Joe, the ex-husband, got home, and I told him about it. He laughed and told me I was probably just hearing things. Fast forward a couple hours later, I was in the shower, and he comes in telling me he needs to talk to me. So I asked about what, and he said he didn't want to talk inside. He wanted to talk outside. I get out of the shower, put some clothes on, and step outside. He tells me that he was taking the trash out, and when he lifted the lid to the trash can outside, the toy went off saying 666. And when he looked at it, he said it was for sure off.
That's... Well, finally you
That's
believe
what you get
me.
for gaslighting me, bitch.
Well, finally you believe me.
She
I
said,
would have such a told you so moment.
Same. I felt like I'm being watched. I've heard things moving. I've heard my kids when they aren't even there. Another strong occurrence was after Joe and I split. He came over to see our kids, and I still had the same recliner, and that phone was behind. But I got what?
Rewind.
Another strong occurrence was after Joe and I had split. He had come over to see the kids. I still had that same recliner that the phone was behind, but I got another recliner and had it in the other corner, both facing the TV. He sits in the one on the left. I don't like how descriptive she gets. He sits in the left one if you're facing the TV, and I sit in the right one. Shortly after he sits down, there are 3 knocks on the front door. So he looks at me, and I get a really bad feeling. He goes to open the door, and I told him not to. He does anyway.
Listen to her. Maybe fucking listen to her.
He does anyway, and there's no one there. So he sits back down, and a few minutes later, there are 3 knocks on the wall behind him. He looks at me wide-eyed, and I just stare at him in a "I told you" type of way. So 30 or so minutes later go by, and we end up switching recliners, just because we were both up. And now he sits on the right recliner. In the living room, I also have my kid's toy box, and one of the toys that always sat on the floor is like this big square thing that you see at the doctor's office with the colorful wire and the beads on it.
Dude, I loved those.
I did too. Well, it literally picked itself up about a foot off the ground and slammed itself back onto the floor. His face goes white, and he looks at me, and I said, "They don't like you." He left shortly after that. Ew.
What?
That's just so nasty. Anyways, now my ex-husband has told me that we left the house one night because he's seen something like a dark figure and things got really bad. Like it would let us leave in some paranormal activity type shit. What?
Like it wouldn't let us leave. I think it's just a typo.
Now my ex-husband has told me that we left the house one night because he's seen something like a dark figure and things got really bad. Like it wouldn't let us leave and some paranormal type shit. But I don't remember that. I've been having the feeling something bad is going to happen, and sometimes I don't feel safe there. But I don't know if anyone experienced anything like this, and if anyone thinks it could be malicious or just a ghost that is harmless.
Sometimes it's not as easy to leave those situations, and it sounds to me like she's having some maybe lost memories of some kind, which is not good, which means that she's probably getting slightly possessed and she doesn't realize it.
Maybe.
She definitely, at the very least, needs a full cleansing by a professional or to move.
I think cleanse should always come first. Because you don't know if it's attached to, if you brought it in.
Yeah.
Or if it was just always there.
Yeah.
So cleansing should always be first. Cleansing yourself, cleansing your house, cleansing your property.
Yes.
Because it knocked on the outside door, and then he opened the door and let it in.
Which, dumbass.
And then it knocked behind him.
I'm sorry, but that's why people have windows next to their doors, or like peepholes to look through, to see if there's anybody there. If there's nobody there, don't open the door. Don't open the door.
Yeah, don't open the door in general, even if there is someone outside.
I can't promise that I wouldn't open the door. But then again,
I usually don't open the door.
nah, people just come
No,
in.
you know what I do? Who's there?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like an invitation in itself, but
No, it's not.
no, it's not.
It's not an invitation.
I thought responding to it was like an invitation.
No.
No.
Unless it's already in your house. If it's already in your house, you're fucked.
Again, we're at Geneva.
Don't know if you can hear those noises or not, like the cars passing by and stuff.
If you can, oh well, fuck y'all.
We're doing some guerrilla recording.
What is guerrilla recording?
So the way I came up with the word guerrilla recording is from guerrilla warfare. Okay? And guerrilla warfare is this very...
I know what guerrilla is.
Well, maybe they don't. Guerrilla warfare is this very, like, unorganized kind of strike attack that you attack. And nobody has a plan. You just go in, wham, cam, kumblamo, thank you, ma'am, and get out. Okay? It's very wild. It's very hectic. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, dope. Alright. On to your next story.
Okay, so next story is 3 paranormal activities within the family. Same time, different locations.
Ew.
It's from r/paranormal encounters, user happy-cheesecake. Love that name, by the way.
Happy cheesecake.
Happy-cheesecake. Hello, everyone. I just want to say my family tends to encounter a lot of paranormal activity, and usually when we experience it, something happens or someone dies.
Ew.
That's a hard opener.
That is a hard opener.
Anyways, last night I woke up out of nowhere having a full-on panic/anxiety attack. I have never gotten one before. It was full on, fast heartbeat, cold sweats, chills, and dreadful, horrible feeling. As if I had gotten some news someone had died. I wasn't having any nightmares. I don't even recall dreaming. I started praying for my family, tossed and turned until I fell asleep. At 6 a.m., I was getting ready for work, sat on the bed, and as soon as I sat down, I got the same feeling. I was afraid I was going to get into a car crash on my way to work. Didn't mention it to anyone and went about my day. My sister moved into her new place today. I called her to see how she was doing, and she told me around 2 a.m. she woke up because her bedroom door creaked open, and she saw someone peeping in. She thought it was her mother-in-law. She's with her for the night. My sister's husband passed away 1 year ago.
Oh.
That's really sad. My sister didn't have her glasses on, but she was able to see a shadow of a head peeking in, and her dog was growling at the door. Eventually, the door slammed open, but there was no one there. She said she tried her best to brush it off and went back to sleep. After our discussion, my brother texted our group chat saying he had the weirdest dream. He dreamed that my sister and our niece were in his apartment and there was a man with them, but the man had no face and he was pale. He also said he knew that it wasn't our sister or our niece, but something pretending to be them.
Ugh.
He said it felt very vivid, and he kept telling them to go away and that he knew it wasn't them, but they kept mocking him. Then he woke up. All of our encounters happened at the same time. Now we're all eerie because, as I mentioned before, when paranormal stuff happens, usually a life-changing event / family death occurs. This is just the first time this happens, where we've all had experienced something at the same time, all while living in separate locations. Does anyone know if the family is haunted, or why we keep experiencing paranormal activities, or what it can be, and why do we all experience it at the same time? Thoughts and comments? I honestly don't know. Maybe the whole family is very sensitive to that sort of thing.
I think they are. So she posted that.
Mm-hmm.
In True Story, Scary Stories, Ghost Encounters. She also posted in Dream Meeting saying my brother had a dream of our sister and niece but knew it was something pretending to be them. And there was a man with no face with them. And then she posted it a shit ton.
In different subreddits?
Yeah. And then the most recent one was 3 days ago in r/paranormal. 3 family experiences, same time, different locations. Help.
3 days from recording this, by the way, because
oh yeah, sorry, I apologize.
we record
early.
Yeah, we're recording like 5 episodes before we even release anything.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we had a nice arsenal with me starting classes again and everything. But her next most recent post is 192 days ago, and it's apparition of a lady in a black dress and hair covering her face has been haunting my mom. Who is she? But she doesn't have any comments other than the apparition. So she hasn't replied to anyone or said anything for 129 days other than her posts. Like, she doesn't have any comments on any of these other posts.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, they don't really have comments either. This one does have a comment, though. The one that we're reading off in Paranormal Encounters, it has 2 of them. One is just someone that relates to it. If you're having those types of dreams and every single time something happens in your family, maybe you guys are all just like a little psychic.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more paranormally sensitive than
premonitions peeking out, you know?
Yeah.
The thing with the sister, though, I feel like that's just taking advantage of the fact that she had lost a loved one.
A year prior, yeah.
I think that's more, it's taking advantage of that situation. But, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I have no advice for that. I'm gonna reach out to a fucking psychic.
Yeah, see how sensitive they are.
Yeah, see if there's anything you guys can tell from it.
I'm guessing that they're probably pretty sensitive, so I'd start looking into ways to build, like, psychic walls and stuff. Maybe that could help. Unless you want the premonitions.
Well, so she had a panic attack and then was afraid to drive in her car because of a car crash. She thought she was going to get into a car crash.
Yes.
Her sister saw something.
Yeah. And her brother had a vivid dream.
Yeah. I don't think it's a coincidence that it all happened on the same night.
No.
But I think it more has to do with your sister than someone else in your family.
Yeah.
Especially if your sister saw something physical. Yeah, and then your brother had a dream specifically about your sister and niece that same night, and you're having a panic attack the same night that your sister sees something
about driving, looking at her and stuff. Maybe have her car checked out or something.
Yeah.
Have her car checked out. You know, all come together as siblings.
Does anyone know if my family is haunted? I don't think your family's haunted. I think you guys are all just very connected.
Yeah.
Or why we keep experiencing paranormal activities. You could be experiencing paranormal activities just because you guys are more open to it subconsciously.
Yeah, without knowing.
But and then also, if you accept the fact that these are like premonitions, because you always say something happens before a car accident, you're subconsciously accepting this. You're subconsciously like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, they said before something life-changing or a loss of a family member or an accident. You're subconsciously accepting that these are premonitions. So on top of that, you are subconsciously opening yourself up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should look at, trying to close yourself off a little bit.
Yeah.
What it can be. Why do we all experience it at the same time? Something's trying to warn you that something's going on with your sister. Yeah. Or someone else, God forbid. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'd say go get your sister's car checked. See if you guys can get your sister's car checked out. Make sure it's still all good for her. Make sure she drives safer for the next couple weeks. Not too much crazy traffic or anything like that.
I would keep an eye on your sister more than anything.
And then start working on closing yourself off psychically. If you want to put up protective barriers.
You could still be open to premonitions and still be closed off to...
I misspoke, I know.
Entities. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Work on building up protective walls.
Right. Alright, something pushed me. r/paranormal encounters. User holiday_show_6312. So I'm 23 now, and this happened when I was around 15, and the memory is still clear as day. It honestly may have traumatized me a bit.
Oh, I wonder why.
Me too, sis. I was in the living room with my two brothers, who were the only ones with me in the house at this time, and we were watching a movie. Since my brothers were in the living room and my mom wasn't home, I figured this was a good time to sneak into her room to borrow something.
Reefer.
Maybe. We live in a one-floor apartment, and my mom's room is on the opposite end of the apartment. I reach her room and open her door. Her bed takes up like 75% of her room because it's huge, so the bed is pretty much like right in front of you as you walk in. It's also a good distance off the ground, so you have to jump onto it, so to speak. I walk in, stand in front of the bed. It's a bit dark, but the blinds still let a little sun through, so I can see okay. All the windows, however, are covered with plastic insulation, as are the windows in the dining room, which is right outside my mom's room. This means there isn't much airflow in the kitchen and my mom's room unless we open the door in the dining room, which leads to the yard. As I'm reaching into some boxes that she kept on her bed since she had extra space, I experience what I can only describe as a force push. This push was strong enough to cause me to bend my upper body on top of the bed, similar to how a cop would push your torso onto their car hood. Ew.
That's a lot of force.
That's like assault. Sorry, that's not funny, but like something slammed you onto the bed like that, that's fucking crazy.
Dude, my leg, I scratched the bottom of my leg and my leg just touched my other leg and it kind of scared me. My thunder thigh touched my other thunder thigh.
Oh my god.
My lightning touched my thunder.
The push didn't really have a sound. I heard the sound of the bed, my clothes, the boxes on the bed, and the clothes hanger that was hanging from the bed's canopy bars. but no footsteps or breathing, or anything that would cause me to think it was a person. It truly felt like a force. I remained bent over on the bed for about 2 seconds before I calmly stood back up, looked behind me, looked ahead of me, and saw that the clothes hanger, which was a bit above my head, was nearly about to swing around the bar and fall on the floor from the force that had just passed. I'm very proud of you though that you stood up so calmly. Because usually from my understanding of these things, it's looking for fear. It's looking for a response.
See, to me, this doesn't feel like any sort, because the clothes hanger was pushed too. To me, it just feels like just some force just flew through there and just wasn't looking
Right.
for anything, just flew through there, and you happened to be in its way, and it just poof.
That too.
So.
But if it was something malicious, I'm very proud that you were able to just stand up so calmly, because it's looking for a reaction. It's looking for you to be scared.
No, I think it was just a force just blew through, and that's.
I back out of the room at an angle to see my surroundings, and slowly walk backwards until I pass the kitchen and reach my room. Then I went to the living room. My brothers were smiling, enjoying the movie they were watching. I, however, simply just sat down with a blank expression and stared at the TV, just trying to understand what had happened. The few times my brothers and I have claimed to have a paranormal experience, we would usually be jumpy and scared and frantically trying to explain. However, in this situation, I was simply too shocked to speak. I didn't see something out of the corner of my eye, or hear some faint voices, or feel some presence. I just was full on pushed. There was no window open to allow wind inside. There was no way a wind gust could produce a force like that, especially at the angle I was pushed. There was no sound to accompany the wind. To this day, I get shaky thinking about it. I don't know what to make of it till today.
I really don't think it was anything malicious specifically, because, like, when it's malicious, it wants to scare you, like you said. And they've had other encounters that they did get jittery and a little freaked out about. But this one was so astonishing that it just flew right past. I really don't think it was anything that had to do with them. I think it was just flying by. Which, yes, is absolutely fucking terrifying. Like, I'm sorry that you got so traumatized from that, but, like, I really don't think it was anything malicious to do with anyone there or you. Lady's trying to read.
I am trying to read. She responded to another person's post that said, "Insight badly needed, recurring dream of a banshee." She responded, "I 100% agree about letting go and trying to understand the phenomenon rather than fight it."
I don't know what that means.
She says, "I've never really had a degree of control during my paralysis episodes, except for one time where I was knocking on the wall next to me very slowly but in a pattern, trying to wake my brother on the top bunk. The one had me pretty distressed when I woke up. That was one of the longer episodes I've had. I think it's because I was trying so hard to wake up or something, or wake someone up. The shorter ones are ones where I'm able to get the thought in my head that if I simply try to fall back to sleep, I'll be out of it, and then I'll wake up to whatever seems like a minute in the paralysis state. So, just many episodes take place during crash naps in the afternoon when I was working night shifts." So she has, like, sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
No one responded to her post. Well, it says there's one response, but I can't see it.
Maybe deleted user, deleted comment?
Maybe. It says be the first to comment. That's it. Oh, it's just a mod comment. That's what it is. But she gives no other information. That's crazy, though. That would be terrifying to experience. I mean,
yeah,
I've been pushed. I got pushed down my steps, and I just got angry.
Of course you did, lady. Of course you did.
Listen. I was walking down the steps. I don't even know what I was doing. I was just kind of like meandering down. It was like a very slow walk. It wasn't like what I normally do. I just kind of like trample down the steps. My steps are also really steep. Okay,
Okay.
that's something I feel like people should know. I get about like halfway, 3/4 of the way down, and something pushed, like hands pushed on both of my back, like on my back at my shoulders, and just shoved me really fucking hard. And I was able to kind of catch myself, and I slammed into the wall because there's this like little pocket.
Now, as for nonchalant as I am, that would piss me off.
That, oh my god, I whipped around, started screaming up the stairs. No one's home. Bobina hadn't even moved in yet.
Yeah.
It was just me and my dog was downstairs
doing whatever
in the living room, looking out the window.
Yeah. Being a window licker like he
does. He's such a window licker. But I whipped around and I just started screaming, I don't know who the fuck you think you are. I'm not the fucking one. You can get the fuck out. Fuck you. I was just screaming.
Yeah.
You're not wanted here. And then I never really felt anything from that specific, like, ghost again. Like, I never felt like that type of energy ever again. I still feel like watched and stuff, but
that is my one hard line. Do not cry. Do not fucking touch me.
Oh, absolutely. Don't fucking touch me.
We could chill.
We're fine. We can occupy space together.
I've had some really, like, scary entities, too, like, that I'm like, listen, you're kind of creepy. Don't touch me. Leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Don't touch me.
Oh, you know what? These ghosts like to fuck with me in this house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother you if you don't bother me.
Yeah.
We can be chill. We can be fine. Then we were sleeping in that middle room. Was where we originally had our bed, and we had our game room in the master bedroom.
Okay.
And I remember, because the way we had our bed, I would look out into the doorway and I'd see a head.
Creepy.
Up in the top right corner.
Creepy.
So I was like, so then I would start saying, just don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable.
How did you fit your bed in that room?
Oh, it was a hot mess. We basically laid it up against, you know, where my L desk is. The long part of the desk was where our bed was situated like that.
That's crazy.
Like where my monitors are was the head of the bed, and our end of the bed ended in front of the yeah.
Okay.
But so like that's how we had it for a while, and I would just kind of tell them like, hey, just don't do that. So then we move into the new bedroom, move everything into the new bedroom, get situated, and now I will see shit peeking from that door, but from the left side of the door, so like it's in the attic corner, like that little corner before the attic.
Creepy.
And like I'll see it like peeking down, and I'm like, I know you're trying to hide yourself from me. I know you're trying to make sure I don't see you, but it's even worse. Okay,
yeah.
Stop it. So at one point I said, if you're gonna peep on me, don't do it from the top corner.
Yeah.
Peep around the corner like a normal fucking person.
That or do it from where the dog's head level is.
And that's what they started doing. I was like, I mean, thanks for vibing with me. I still don't fucking like that you're peeping on me. And I'll see it like when I'm sitting in the dining room, I'll look into I have to have the window shut. Like I have to pull the curtains because I'll see the reflection in the window of something peeking around the top fucking corner of the steps. Why is it from the top corner? Why can't you just be fucking normal? And I've said that before. I was looking right at it in the window, and I said, I fucking see you. Why can't you be normal? And he went, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Lady getting
Get away
dramatic.
from me. I was so mad. I was so like, why are you so fucking weird?
Okay.
Anyways, that's my little story. Sorry guys, went off on a tangent again.
Normal us. So this next one is called I lived in a haunted hell house for almost 2 years. From r/paranormal encounters, user relevant _bicycle_898.
Why did you say bicycle like that?
Because I was trying to read and
bicycle?
Because it wasn't working. My reading wasn't working.
You'd be the one to say that we're bipedal.
We are bipedal.
We're bipedal. It's a pedal.
Same difference. Oh my god.
No, it's not.
Anyways, several things happened in this house, and I'll try to make this quick. and just give you a few stories because we could be here all day. My brother and I wanted to be roomies again and decided to move into a cute 2-story, 3-bedroom house. It was me, my brother, my nephew, my dog, their tortoise. As we were moving into this house, I was putting boxes into the little closet under the stairs, thinking this could be a tortoise's little hangout spot.
Oh.
As I was leaning into the closet to slide a box in, I hear a loud, audible growling directly in my ear. I said, "Nope, close the door."
That's some shit I would do. No.
Same. I looked
That
around.
man did not want that turtle near him.
I looked around to see if my dog was nearby, but she was outside. So that was weird. I should have known right then. That's literally what OP says. So that was weird. I should have known right then. That
Girl, I feel you.
same. Oh my god. Us and user relevant _bicycle _898 are vibing.
Yeah.
One unfortunate thing was that my dog just acted really strange in that house. For example, a couple of times there would be home from work, she would just be terrified for no reason. Couldn't even get close to her without her whimpering, crying out, and cowering down. She has never been afraid of us, and we were never abusive to her, so this was really off. We were wondering if it was possible that our landlord didn't change the locks.
That would piss me off.
Yeah, don't fuck with my dogs.
Don't fuck with my dogs.
Don't touch me, don't fuck with my dogs.
You're making my dog that fucking scared. Ooh!
Yeah. No.
Ooh! I will make sure I hurt you during this cleansing. Fuck you. What?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna close all the windows.
Oh yeah. I'll make you suffer for a little bit.
I could be nice, but I can be evil. We were wondering if it was possible that the landlord didn't change the locks, or maybe they were letting themselves in and someone kicked her, hit her, hurt her, or for protecting our home. She is a protective dog, so she would have barked and acted aggressive towards some stranger coming into the house without us there. Another thing that really got me was I caught her several times just staring and growling at the upper corner of my bedroom. Sometimes she would also wag her tail, sit and raise her paw like she was taking commands from someone. But mostly it was just aggressive growling and showing her teeth. It was very odd because she's never done that before or since we left that house. She never showed any of this behavior before or after that house, and I've had her for 10 years. So that's one thing that my parents' dog used to do when I was at my parents' house, is he, specifically the male dog, would come up and lay like in bed with me, and he would look towards either my closet or my bedroom door and just start growling. Yeah, it was gross.
See, that makes me confused.
What?
Because the dog will go from growling and angry and,
Yeah.
to
Wagging your tail and
responding to commands.
yeah.
So, like, how many spirits are in this house?
Yeah. That has to be quite a bit. And I'm guessing like when she's like scared and cowering is when the one that growled did its thing.
I'm assuming so.
The random growling episode was really freaked me out because it was unlike her, but I tried to tell myself that maybe she was just getting old and her sight was not that great anymore. But one day my on-again, off-again boyfriend showed up randomly in the middle of the night. We weren't on the best of terms and I was hesitant, but I allowed him to stay the night because he was drunk and I didn't need to drive any more than he already had.
And he didn't need to drive any more than he already had.
Yep. I woke up the next day for work and just let him stay there. While I was gone, he was just hanging out in my room and he said he got this really weird feeling, and then my bedroom door just slammed hard. At first it was like there must have been a breeze, but then he explained after that door slammed he saw a huge black shadow thing in my upper right corner of my room and stated that the house is haunted, which was so unlike him. He didn't believe in that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. To go from skeptic to be like, this house is haunted. Crazy jump.
It's also, this ghost I don't understand. Because on one hand, you're growling in your ear and pissing off the dog. And then, it could be something else, or it could be the same joke. So ghost is like making friends with the dog and protecting her. It doesn't like the boyfriend she's not on good terms with. slammed the door shut and then, manifested in front of him just to scare him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this ghost?
Yeah. He didn't believe in that kind of thing. So I'm sure when I went pale when he said that, because I never told him anything about my dog's weird growling episodes, and of course, it was the exact same spot. Normally, I would have written it off and maybe a hallucination from alcohol withdrawal, but him pointing to that spot made me realize I was dealing with something psycho demon son of a gun.
I was dealing with some psycho demon son of a gun.
Sorry, I can't read.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I do the same thing.
You're making fun of me. Then one day, I saw it. I was sitting in my room, and from my room, I could see the wall and banister of the stairs. I got this weird feeling, which I assume was what my ex-BF felt that day. Like when you get bad news and your heart drops to your stomach. I saw this huge black shadow cascade down the wall of the banister and the stairs. I just sat there in complete terror, watching this thing come down the wall towards me. I know, I sound absolutely insane when I say this, but it's like I could just feel that it was on a mission and had intentions to get me and take over me, like possess me. I was horrified, but I went into fight mode. I wasn't a religious person, and I had no idea what the heck I was doing. If I'm being honest, I just said things that I saw in movies. I started saying, like, you're not welcome here, only love and light are welcome in this house, and the power of Christ commands you to leave.
The power of Christ commands you! That dog.
It's not compelling. It's not compelling, Jay.
No, I just keep thinking of the beagle that's howling. It's going, woohoo! And she goes, the power of Christ compels you, and the dogs just scream, howling at her.
It's not that compelling. I think of that TikTok every time I hear the power of Christ compels you. It's not that compelling. When I began saying the last part, again, it was like I could feel the fear and hesitation. It started slinking back up the wall in the same way it came down. That was not a fun bonding moment for us.
Oh, she said
that was a fun bonding moment for us. Not. I love this post. I love this poster. I'm eating up whatever she is feeding me. I love them. Oh my god. A few other things to note. All of us, even the dog, were just absolutely depressed in that house. It was what we were all shells of our former selves. We acted different. We had no energy. We had no social life outside of work. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I'd never had them before or since. I was having nightmares constantly. I lost so much weight for no reason at all. My brother and I were having really heated arguments when we have always gotten along well and lived together, both before and after this house, without issues. We are both healthy people and never really got sick. My brother and I got very sick with very odd illnesses that nobody could diagnose. I was even hospitalized, and the doctors didn't know how to diagnose me. May seem uneventful to people reading this, but man, the scary moments were scary. But the mental torment for almost 2 years was the worst of it all. It was a daily battle. It's hard to explain, but I think back to the time I almost want to cry because I can feel the way it felt back then.
I can feel the way I felt back then.
Yeah, those are the words. The depression and horrible negative headspace I was in. Like a messed up case of nostalgia.
Ooh.
Thank goodness we were able to cut lease early and leave. Once we moved into a new house, everything went back to normal. We were all happy, our happy selves again. On those based on true events movies, where people move into a haunted house and it slowly drives them crazy, yeah, I believe it, because I lived it.
Damn.
I know OP has a couple other comments in her thing. I didn't read through them, but yeah. Her brother also got sick. I remember reading that one.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I could not imagine, dealing with that. I mean, the stuff that, goes on in my house, it's not very malicious. I mean, other than the thing that pushed me down the steps. But in my opinion, I think someone sent that towards me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But in her comment, she said that there was no mold. The house was well kept together.
Yeah.
It wasn't like CO2 because they had combo detectors which detect CO2 and smoke.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So was it hallucinations for that?
That's
Next one sounds crazy though. Our next story.
My daughter sees things no one else can see and knows things she possibly can't know. Paranormal encounter. Oh, yeah.
Because you keep correcting me.
Okay, user quality 003, but it's quality quilty. Quilty 003, but with 2 T's. Little titty. Anyways, my daughter is 6 years old. All of her life, it's been as if she can see things that aren't visible to us. And she knows about things we've never told her, or things that are about to happen. My daughter is autistic and semi-verbal, so she can't always describe her experiences with words in a way that makes sense to us. But when she has been able to communicate her experiences, I've been unable to come up with a rational explanation for them. She has always, since she was a baby, reacted to things that we could not see. From watching, laughing, pointing, and waving at thin air when she was a baby, to crawling, walking, or running towards things and trying to grab thin air as a toddler and young child. The only time she has ever verbally described what she was following, she said blue lights and yellow lights. She sometimes has meltdowns because she's autistic, and she will often come out of those meltdowns by focusing on something moving in front of her that we cannot see.
Okay, so real quick, the blue lights and yellow lights, this specifically reminds me of fairy stories I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, where young children especially, can see fairy spirits and fairies and stuff like that, when older people cannot. And Haley Reese on YouTube has a really good fairy story. From what I was told by another person, she doesn't always get the language correct. We're not going to get the language correct, and not everybody's going to have the language correct, whatever. But it was a very, very cute story. Synopsis of it was, she saw these little fairies outside her window, and she was trying to get her grandma to look at them, and her grandma could not open her eyes. Like, she was like laying in bed tired. Her grandma could not open her eyes no matter how hard she tried.
Oh.
To wake up. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I mean,
but like, being the grandma should have been like, I would be scared if I, like, my kid is sitting there, my grandkid's like, come look at this, and I'm like, ugh.
No, they were both like laying in bed, and she's like, look grandma, out the window, there's like all these fairies going by, there's these little gnome people going by.
Yeah, but could you imagine being the grandma and not able to open your eyes?
Terrifying. Like... terrifying. Hold your baby closer and
and fairies, listen, if it's the fairies that I'm thinking of,
it was like little gnome creatures, like the garden ones. Okay. Like little garden figurine fairies.
I don't know the difference between a fairy and the fae, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I just have always been told you never mess with the fae.
Oh no, don't mess with the fae. From my understanding, which is
minimal.
Yeah, it's limited. Same general species, different type. Okay, so you have house cats and you have tigers, and then you have saber-toothed tigers. Okay, these would be like the house cats of them.
Okay,
still can be dangerous, but not to a bad point. So that's what she was essentially seeing.
Gotcha.
That
you think?
No, maybe. That she thought.
Oh, that the Haley girl thought. Okay.
Yeah, this Haley girl thought. Maybe she was reading another person's story. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, it's been a while since I watched her YouTube.
That's okay.
But
my father-in-law, my husband, and her teacher at school have all noticed her playing as if she's interacting with an unseen child, nodding and shaking her head as if she's responding to someone, showing someone toys, hugging someone, beckoning for someone to follow her, holding hands with someone while running. And when my husband asked her who she was playing with, she pointed at thin air and said, "That boy." When her teacher asked her, she said, When her teacher asked her, she said Wendy, like from Peter Pan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Once, when we were walking on the street, she pointed and said, "There's a man you can see through." I assumed she was talking about someone's reflection in the window, but she was pointing at a solid wall. She waved at the spot she had pointed to, then laughed as if reacting to something. All of the previous incidents could be easily explained as a product of active imagination. The following are harder to explain. My father was visiting, and when he was about to leave, my daughter said, "Grandpa goes in the blue car." My father's car is white, ours is silver, and we couldn't see any blue cars outside the window. Then my father realized his car wasn't starting, and he had to be towed and called an Uber. The Uber was blue.
Oh my god.
My in-laws gave her a present for her birthday, and when she received it, she said the flower is broken and didn't want to open it. When she finally did open it, it contained a children's porcelain tea set with flower designs, and one teacup was cracked right through the flower.
I have chills now.
Since she was able to crawl, she has avoided one particular patch of carpet like the plague. She would crawl and later walk around it rather than going in a straight line. There was never anything different about that spot of carpet, but she visibly hated it and couldn't explain why.
Well, she's also autistic.
My son vomited all over that exact part of the carpet last year. It took a little while to get rid of the smell, and it's still slightly stained if you look closely. She also did the same exact thing with my husband's shirt. Every time he wore the shirt, she wouldn't go near him and acted disgusted by him, even hiding from him. There was nothing unusual about the shirt, no weird patterns or textures. And then one day, my husband was carrying my son while wearing it, and my son vomited on him. But why are you
Both of your kids
She
are very sensitive.
she's like she goes and like forces herself to have premonitions of where vomit's gonna happen. Like she said no vomit at all. I'm gonna be psychic so I can avoid vomit. Specifically my brother's vomit, because fuck that kid.
Okay.
She once asked my neighbor, "Will you fix the window?" And when pressed on why, she just pointed at a particular window with a face like, "Duh." The window was completely fine, no damage whatsoever, until weeks later when a cricket ball went through it.
Holy shit, kid.
The strangest thing, however, is my daughter's apparent interactions with Grandma. In the same period of time when she learned the words Mummy, Daddy, Mikey, my son's nickname, Nanny, Poppy, and Grandpa,
There you go.
she also learned Grandma. My mother went missing, presumed deceased, when I was 12. My daughter has never met nor been told about my mother. We have never referred to my mother as Grandma, only by her name and Mum. She has occasionally mentioned playing with or seeing Grandma. And when asked if she means Nana, she insists she means Grandma. She has drawn pictures of Grandma, always with the right hair color and texture, wearing a shirt in the exact color and pattern my mother was wearing on the day she was last seen. I don't believe my daughter has ever even seen pictures of my mother. But it...
Wait, her mother? Oh, I have hardcore chills. Her
hardcore
mother
goosebumps.
went missing?
Her mother went missing, and her daughter draws pictures of the mother with the same exact hair color and texture, wearing a shirt in the exact color and pattern my mother was wearing on the day she was last seen.
My god.
I don't believe my daughter has ever seen any photos of pictures of my mother, but if she has, she certainly wouldn't have been in that shirt. I have been a skeptic my entire life, but with everything I've seen from my daughter, it's hard to remain completely skeptical. It's clear that I can't explain away all the experiences my daughter has clearly had by just saying she's an imaginative child, because there are things she can't know that she somehow knows. I've had to accept that my daughter may be experiencing the paranormal.
Oh, dude, your daughter is not only experiencing the paranormal, but is psychic as fuck. Okay,
That's fucking wild.
her being a skeptic, she needs to not only her being a skeptic, but add in that her child is autistic. You need to deep dive into research about protecting her, protecting your home from spiritual stuff, because she is going to need some help, especially growing up with that strong of an ability.
Someone commented, I totally believe children have a thin veil and can feel and see things adults can, but I'd also rule out seizures and possible psychosis as well. The OP responded, she said she's had a lot of things ruled out, including seizures and psychosis.
No, like, straight up just deep dive into everything protective spiritually, because that's a hard slope to go alone. I was lucky enough that my mother knew a thing or two, didn't know everything, but knew a thing or two about spirits and the spiritual world and stuff like that, and I was very, very lucky.
Ew. I'm sorry. Someone commented, get a pastor or a priest, because if this isn't an imagination, your kid, if this isn't the imagination of your kid, she's likely seeing demonic entities.
Bro,
and she responded, why do you say that? None of them have ever been harmful or even scary. They've all been positive experiences, especially the apparent spirit of my mother.
Yeah. Like, bro, that didn't... Whoever posted that comment, not OP, whoever posted that comment to OP needs to go. They just straight up need to go. Taking from their comment, though, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go talk to somebody in the spiritual community to get information. You know what I mean? Not that I think she's seeing any demons or anything, because like OP has said, they're all positive experiences and stuff like that. It's just you want the information for down the line in case something happens that is not positive.
And my gosh.
What?
So, someone else commented, the same person said, because people are something to believe that their loved ones visiting them as ghosts. It's a false hope, but it's hope nonetheless. She responds back with, so ghosts are definitely not real, but demons definitely are. Why are you in the sub if you aren't willing to question your beliefs and consider alternative viewpoints? Someone else responded, they're all the same creatures, but people like to give them romantic names. They're all jinns. Different jinn nations have different abilities and appearances. None of them are spirits of your loved ones, but they know how to copy the looks of them because they live longer than us. They met our ancestors. It's bad to have them in the house. And she said, okay, well, I respect that that's your opinion. He said, you can respect all you want, but I'm not the one not understanding what's going on with your kid. I advise you to play something in your house so they disappear and bless your child every day with Christian or Jewish or Muslim prayers. Your child may have Zahori qualities, so they're trying to mess with your child. Otherwise, these things will escalate. Do what you want with this info. She said, I don't believe you can know the truth about what's going on with her any more than any other person in the sub can. I have never seen any reason to perform any ceremonies or any prayers from any particular faith because she does not show any distress of any kind of this. Please do not assert your opinion as they are only as if they are truth. Yeah. No one knows for sure. He said pest problems have to be nipped in the butt. Just remember my above comment in a couple of years, and if you need anything, text me.
Nah. Block them, babe.
I don't follow alternative beliefs with ghosts since I actually follow my church's stance on the paranormal, which is that all ghosts are demons in disguise, and as such, don't mess around with that stuff.
There are a lot of
okay, why are you on the paranormal stuff if you believe everything's demons? Because that's what my mom believes, which I can understand why people would believe it, because in the Bible it says you either go to heaven or hell. And in the Christian faith, you know, they believe you either go to heaven or hell. There's no waiting. There's no... what's yours called? Limbo? Purgatory. There's no purgatory. There's heaven or hell, and that's it. And that immediately happens after you die. You go to judgment. You get sent. So my mom has always said, if the Bible says that there's only heaven and hell, and you immediately get sent there, there's no reason why a spirit would be left on earth. It's a demon trying to disrupt you from not following exactly what the Bible says. And I always like to point out when the Bible has been rewritten. So,
but yeah, no, I'd say probably just in case, because there's nothing bad happening now. So I'm very, very happy about. I am so ecstatic to hear that. Oh my god, I'm so ecstatic to hear that.
Well, yeah, it's great that there's nothing happening now, and I do believe something could happen in the future. But at the same time, I don't think you need to get like a priest or something. No. I just think you need to pay attention to what's going on with your kid. And if she seems distressed, then you reach out to someone.
No, I'd say go talk to a few people to learn a few things before.
Oh yeah, go try to find like a reputable medium, but like
reputable medium. Go talk to not necessarily a church or an open, like if they're open to the idea of that sort of thing, like spirits and stuff. Go talk to them, ask their opinions on some things.
I'll say 100% now, don't go to a fucking priest.
There are some priests. There are some priests that are pretty cool.
There are, but majority of them are going to tell you it's always a demon. Which, if she's not experiencing anything malicious, there is no reason to believe that there is a demon at this point in time.
Yes.
So you shouldn't be going to. In my opinion, you should only ever go to a priest.
If you need an absolute cleanse.
Yeah, if you need a cleansing, if you need something malicious taken away, and usually something malicious is demonic.
I just mean go to somebody that can spiritually help you learn about these things.
Yeah.
Not so much like
maybe open you up a little bit, because if your kids got it, you probably got it.
Well, because some people are more okay with talking to a priest than they are a medium.
I mean, valid.
That's why I say that specifically.
Yeah.
Like,
I just
go to who you feel comfortable with learning about this stuff.
Yeah. Well,
not
she doesn't
necessarily
seem to
deep dive, but like
she doesn't seem to have any type of religion in general.
Yeah.
So I feel like she probably would be more comfortable. I mean, like you said, go to whoever you feel most comfortable with, but try to go to someone that's open-minded.
Yeah.
Someone that's not just gonna immediately disrupt and
like
say
some of your comments.
Yeah. They're all jinns. Whatever. We're phasmophobia. Turn off the power source.
Oh my god. Relates everything to a video game.
I fucking love video.
Same.
Phasmophobia, Stardew Valley, and Sims, and that's it for me, man. Minecraft.
We're gonna get you into League.
Oh, I am kind of into League.
Me and Blue are gonna get you into League.
I think it's a long time coming before I actually get into League.
Yeah.
I think right now I like to stay focused on Stardew and Phas, but I'll play League every now and then.
Dip my toes into League.
I'll play every now and then with Blue.
Yeah.
Every now and then, but I'm not gonna get as hardcore into it yet.
Jesus.
Anyways, we're gonna close out now.
So, weird thought of the week. I think this is a great one to end on.
Oh, I didn't write down
your weird thoughts that you just had?
Yeah. Every novel, even the really fucking big ones, are just 26 letters.
That took me a minute to understand.
Think of the longest book you have ever read. It is just 26 letters.
Yeah, they just repeat. Yep, that. Okay.
I just got a little excited there. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Hey, ladies, first weird thought of the week.
Are you George? You can't stop thinking about leaks?
There's a leak in my boat.
There's a leak in my boat.
Okay, goodbye.
Be kind, love yourselves,
and maybe hydrate, you little fuckers. Bye bitches.